Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Yesterday morning, Joe Biden's Secretary of State, a man called Tony Blinken, went on to the Sunday show over at CBS News to announce a new policy toward Russia. Going forward, Blinken explained, the Biden administration will use Poland as a cutout to send fighter jets to the government of Ukraine. Those jets will be used to fight the Russian military. Blinken announced this in a calm, even tone that suggested this was conventional procedure, business as usual, nothing to worry about, just another weekend at the State Department. But in fact, it's not typical. It's a very big step. It could turn out to be a pivot point in history. And for that reason, we want to show you the entire exchange. Here it is.
If, for instance, the Polish government, a NATO member, wants to send fighter jets, does that get a green light from the U.S., or are you afraid that that will escalate tension?
No, that gets a green light. In fact, we're talking with our Polish friends right now about what we might be able to do to backfill their needs if, in fact, they choose to provide these fighter jets to the Ukrainians. What can we do? How can we help to make sure that they get something to backfill the planes that they're handing over to the Ukrainians?
Are you afraid that will escalate tension, asks the scriptreader, because even a CBS News anchor knows that sending fighter jets to a war usually does that. No, replies Tony Blinken. That gets a green light. It's a remarkable exchange. What are we watching here, apart from a conversation between two incredibly shallow people who have limited contact with reality? What we're watching is the beginning of a war between the United States and Russia. If that sounds jarring, what else would you call it? Now, you may support everything that Tony Blinken just said. Maybe you do support it. But let's not lie about what's happening. Let's be as honest and clear-eyed as we can be, especially now, because it matters. The Biden administration just inserted itself with force into the middle of a hot war between two foreign powers. That means the United States is now an active participant in a war. We are at war with Russia. Whether or not that war has been officially declared, whether or not Congress has authorized that war, all of that is irrelevant. That war is happening right now as we watch. Why is no one in Washington saying anything about this? Because they support it. They always have. Almost 5 years ago, way back in
All right, Shalom. This is Har One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, Layahawa, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakakwadash, Ma'amah. Double line to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. And Shalom to you, Aki and Menakwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. All right, so the prophecies are speaking, and the visions are those prophecies, man. All right, they were started off as visions. Now they're being manifested. All right, they were prophecies spoken beforehand. Now, it says, but at the end it shall speak. So the prophecies are speaking and not lie. All right, so the Lord is truthful in everything He said that He spoke from the beginning, declaring the end from the beginning. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right, what is He talking about? The day of judgment. So this is a build up to it. All right, it says it's for an appointed time. Okay, just like what was that, World War II? I think it was. No, World War I. In 1914, you had what's his name, Gavrilo Principe. He the one that so-called poisoned King Ferdinand, which was the turning point in the long what should I say, beef that they had, Germany and the other nations. All right. Now, so now that started World War One. Then you had World War II. Now you got what? World War III. Okay, and this is the match that's going to burn down the whole house. All right, but you still got some prophecies got to play out. That's why the Lord is building it up, but little by little. All right, and eventually, he said, it's a hot war, which is still being operated like a proxy war on the side of America and NATO. But now that they're sending planes into it, I saw an interview before. Yeah, right. Everybody saw that one. Putin said it. He said if anybody helps out with Ukraine, they're going to see disaster like they never saw before in history. All right, and he said they're going to look at it like they're in the war. Okay, so if they aid the Ukrainians and sending them planes or helping the planes to get there, then basically America has entered into that war. Period. That's how Russia looking at it. You know, birds of a feather flock together, and they all are that same eagle. So, but that vision is yet for an appointed time. All right, that's that. That's why everything can be happening and kicking up to that point, right? And build like a build up, but then at an appointed time, that's when all the prophecies just start speaking. They start happening. All right, this is Romans 3:3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh without effect? So who cares about your unbelief vocab, your unbelief IUIC and these churches, these Christians, these Muslims? Who cares about their unbelief? It's not going to make the Most High untruthful. His prophecies and his visions that he spoke from the beginning, they're speaking and they're not lying. All right, the proof is there. Yahweh forbid, yea, let Yahweh be true, but every man a liar. All right, so it's going to be known that every man that went against the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to be found as liars. The prophecies are happening. Now you can think back in your mental Rolodex of how many people have told you that they didn't believe Russia was going to go to war. Now you talk to those same people, you'll see that the Lord has them in a spirit of derision because they do not remember talking to you about it. They may say, oh yeah, I remember you mentioning that, but it don't mean nothing to them. They don't perceive the type of judgment that's coming. All right. So let me get one more. Proverbs 20:24. It says, man's goings are of the Lord. All right. Yahweh controlling Putin and these Edomites over here in America. So they can try to start the war tomorrow and it won't happen. It's just all up to the Most High. He's holding it back until the elect get sealed, according to Revelation chapter 7. He's holding it back until certain prophecies play out. All right, just like the wisdom of Solomon speaks of. The book of Wisdom of Solomon said the Lord does not move nor stir his prophecies until the said measure be fulfilled, meaning the times, all right, the prophecies. But then at a appointed time, you're going to have the turning point. And now we're reaching that turning point in the war where it's no longer going to be just a proxy. It's going to be a full-on hot war between Russia and America. And that's going to be the downfall of this place. You see the prices are rising. You're about to have an economy collapse, a crash at any day now. It's already crashed. It's just about it being felt. You know, the dollar being useless, or they move over to the Bitcoin system and the MOTB. Any day now, man. And after that, that's it. The Lord said, look up because your salvation draweth nigh. All right. But anyway, it's going to be a quick one real fast. So man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? And that's why Tucker Carlson can't understand how America could be involved in this war as they're doing. All right. They're like, you think it's going to be an escalation? Nah. They know. That's what they want. They want this war to happen. All right. Psalm 7:14. Yep. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity. See, matter of fact, 13. He have also prepared for him the instruments of death. So the Most High already has the missiles and everything prepared. All right. Those are the instruments of his indignation. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutor. So the Lord got everything set in order and has it already set up against Esau. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, man. See, and have conceived mischief. And that's what Esau has done. They have devised mischief. All right. by starting the war, moving on the borders of Russia, trying to annex Ukraine to NATO. All right, and they have conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood, saying that it's Russia's fault. But everybody know from the beginning it was America poking at Russia. Now they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to help Ukraine with some planes. You know, we're gonna send them over because Russia tripping. No, yeah, they started with Russia. All right. He made a pit and digged it, so they've done it. They set up their new world order, setting it up. All right, they moving. They set all the plans in place, and now they're moving. Now they're digging, and it's falling into the ditch which he made. And now we're seeing the fall. All right, now it comes time for the fall. Okay, the fall of this place. That's the next step. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing, all right, dealing violently in the world, is gonna come down upon his own pate, man, basically his own head. All right, the crown of their head. So it's gonna come down upon them. All right, so yeah, man, everything they're doing, poking at Russia, getting involved, being busybodies. All right, now this is to our people, but it also falls on Esau. Check this out, Sirach 11:9. Strive not in a matter that concerneth thee not, and sit not in judgment with sinners. See, this talking about Jakes, but the point is, strive not in a matter that concerneth thee not. Why? Because you're basically involved in it. It's it's like grabbing a dog by the ear. It's gonna turn and bite you. All right, and they're grabbing Russia by the ear, the bear. My son, meddle not with many matters. It's talking about Jakes, of course, but you know, I'm just using that as an example. For if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent, and if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by fleeing. All right, so they try to run. Russia can be like, nah, you part of this shit. All right, Jeremiah 50. I'm gonna start from 41. Behold, a people shall come from the north, a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. See, poking at the bear. Now that great people is gonna be Russia. All right. And they said if Russia was to do an attack on America, the best way to do it would be to come from the north, through over Canada and Alaska and all that. All right, especially with a bomber. But they can invade from the east and west because America is surrounded by water. And a great nation, see, if Russia's that great nation, all right, the bear that's being prepared, and as scripture say, it is enough. I mean, fully equipped to handle NATO, America, and the EU. And many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth, right? The kings of the east. All right, all those nations are going to be risen up with Russia. The Lord said that the Lord has raised up the kings of the earth against America. Hell have risen up to meet thee at thy coming. So as America is moving forward with their plans, a new world order, they're bringing nothing but hell and destruction upon themselves. Bringing their judgment quicker. They shall hold the bow and lance. They are cruel. So, right? They will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea. And they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. All right, the daughter of Babylon is America. So it shall roar like a sea, man. That's the missiles, man. All right. That's how many it's going to be. 200 million. And it says this, so the warheads, and they're going to ride upon horses, talking about the actual missile. All right. You can read about that, Revelations 9. Everyone put in array. So they're going to be put in formation with AI technology. The invincible missiles and shit. All right. So, where was that? The king of Babylon have heard the report. So the king of Babylon today is the president. So they have heard the report of them. So they're going to hear it. It's going to be all over the media, the internet. And his hands waxed feeble against anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail. All right. So pains are going to take hold of the president, and hopefully it's Biden. He already feeble, feeble Joe. So yeah, man, this thing is happening. All right, the world war is kicking off. It's building up to a hot war between Russia and America, according to prophecy. All right, behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan. All right, unto the habitation of the strong. Right, you're going Ezekiel 38. They're gonna go up to the land of unwalled villages, but I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man, that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Right? Here's the point. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Babylon. Man, ain't nothing Babylon can do about it. The judgment is coming. All right. And his purpose, that he have taken against this place Babylon. And his purpose that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the land of the Chaldeans represents those elite bankers, all right, that have established this place, America, as the whore. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. You know, the least of the flock. And you know, what they call Ukraine is ran by Nazis. You know, so the least of the flock, these proxy nations are going to draw America into a hot war and into their destruction. By America giving planes or whatever to Ukraine, they're basically going to war with Russia. They're supplying the war. Putting sanctions on Russia, all right? Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So they're being drawn out into this war. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them, man. See, the Lord is going to make this place desolate because these nations are going to draw America into the war. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the crying is heard among the nations. So this is prophecy, and it's about to come to pass. So yeah,